Students, now the last but not the least section of this chapter is section number 24, which is about deemed ownership. Deemed ownership. Student, before starting this section, I would like to thank you to all of you for giving me such a lovely comments that yes, you are understanding these concepts in a very easy manner and all. Students, thanks a lot. Actually, this is an inspiration. This is a motivation for me. It inspires me to do better for you, to do in fact hard work for you, to understand you, to make you understand in a very better way. Thank you to all of you. Okay, now student, section number 27. Student, as we have talked in the very starting of this chapter that there are some conditions where there is a provision of deemed ownership. It means actually the house property is not in the name of that person. He is not the legal owner of that property. He or she is not the legal. The house is not in the names of that in the name of that person, but they will deemed to be the owner of that property. They will deem to be the owner of that property. Section number 27, which states that who are the deemed, then what are the situation of deemed ownership for income from house property. Okay, the first is transfer to a spouse. So what happens is, for example, if Mr. A, there is a Mr. A and Mrs. A. Mr. A and Mrs. A. Mr. A transfers his house property in the name of Mrs. A. He transfers his house property in the name of Mrs. A, but he does not take any consideration or the adequate consideration. It means the stamp duty value of the house property, the fair market, the stamp duty value, all that. Okay, if he does not take the adequate or the enough consideration from Mrs. A, it means income tax will see that although the house now is in the name of Mrs. A, but we will tax the income of that house property in the hands of Mr. A only, uh, by deeming him a owner. So deemed owner. Now, in this case, Mr. A will be a deemed owner. Deemed owner. Now, you might be thinking, ma'am, why income tax is getting us confused by this deemed ownership provision. So, what practically happens is, so for example, Mrs. A has a GTI, that is gross total income of rupees 1,95,000 only. But Mr. A has a gross total income except the income from house property. I am not including this income. He has an income of rupees 10,20,000. Now what happens that his income from house property is although rupees 2 lakh is also rupees 2,50,000 5 rupees. Now he thinks that if I add this income in my income, so I will have to pay a huge amount of tax because already I have I have on the higher part of income tax slab rate. So what he do is that okay, it is the whether house is on the name of me or in the name of my wife, it doesn't happen as we are as we are in the as we are husband wife, so it will not matter. So what he do is he transfers the house property in the name of Mrs. A just because he is not taking any adequate consideration enough consideration for it. He actually tries to transfer this income in the name of Mrs. A. So as I already stated, income tax is more smarter than the taxpayer. So income tax stated that if in case of a transfer of a house property by an individual to his or her spouse, it means wife is transferring house property to his husband or husband is transferring house property to her wife, to his wife. Otherwise, then for adequate consideration, the transferor, that who is transferring the property, will be deemed to be the owner of the transferred property. Okay, so income will be taxed in the hands of transferor only. He will be the deemed owner. Okay, now, but friends, some it might be the case. It might be the case that the husband or wife, anyone, are transferring his or her house property to another person without any adequate consideration, because they are in an agreement to live apart. They are taking divorce from each other. They are having an agreement to live apart. So in connection with an agreement to live apart, in connection with an agreement to take the divorce from each other, if they are doing this, so in that case there will be no concept of deemed honor, because it is quite obvious that yes, this is a legal fact that in the case of transfer of a spouse, of the property to spouse in connection with an agreement to live apart, they can do this. In this case, deemed ownership provision will not happen. Okay, Next is transfer to a minor child. Minor child means a person who has not even attained age of 18 years. Who has not even attained the age of 18 years. So, if a person is transferring, if an individual is transferring his house property in the name of his or her minor child, so we can clearly find out that they are trying to evade the tax of that income from house property, as minor child is no one to handle a house property. He can't handle a house property. So if, as it of a spouse case, if the property is transferred to a minor child, other than for adequate consideration, if they are not taking any adequate consideration from him, so it will be a case of deemed ownership. In the hands of transfer only, income from house property shall be taxed. Okay, but students, there is an exception. If it's the case of a transfer to a minor married daughter, although the to marriage a minor daughter, to marry a minor daughter is a totally illegal concept, and I even don't know. I can't understand why people are doing this. This is very bad. Why you are getting your minor daughter or son getting married to each other? They are not able to understand anything. So students, in case of transfer to a minor married daughter, it means if they are marrying their minor daughter, and or after marriage, if they are transferring this property to their minor married daughter. Minor means person who has not attained the age of even 18 years. Minor married daughter, not to minor married son, because son is going to live with them only. Minor married daughter. The transfer is not deemed to be the honor. Okay. Note, what happens when sometimes this can be the case that Mr. A, Mrs. A, this is Mr. A not transfer the house to Mrs. A. He transfers that cash of 25 lakh to Mrs. A, and then Mrs. A purchase an house property from this cash, from this amount, whether it is cash or by bank, no worry, no issue of that. If Mrs. A now, or his minor child purchase a house property from this amount, then it shall not be a case of deemed ownership. No worry about that. In that case, as he is not transferring the house property directly, he is not going to tax. Okay, it will not be considered as a deemed honor. Now you might be thinking, ma'am, okay, this is a point of a loophole of income taxation. It means person can do this, that in fact instead of transferring the property, he can transfer some cash, and he can transfer cash, and his wife can purchase another house property from it, and they will get benefit. No, student, this income will not be taxed under the head income from house property. Section 27 will not applicable here. But yes, there are other provisions of income tax, that is clubbing provision. Clubbing provisions, which we will deal with, which we will discuss in the chapter clubbing of income. Okay, so clubbing provisions will attract here, and in that way income tax is not going to take you the benefit of that transfer of cash also. Okay, so it is right here also. Now spring, so there are only two persons to which, if you are going to transfer your house property, or even if you are transferred to your house property, then it will be a deemed ownership case, transfer to spouse or transfer to a minor child. Okay, there is an exception of both cases also. Third point is holder of an impartible estate. String, sometimes student, actually income tax and GST is a completely practical subject. Completely practical subjects is that's why I always want to explain you this subject with the help of lot of examples. Okay, holder of an impartible estate. Impartible estate means a property which is legally not divisible. We can't divide that property which is not legally divisible. For example, if there is a house property, of Mrs. A, if there is a house property of Mrs. A, and Mrs. A by an agreement, or under the will, she makes a will and transfer this property to his three child, Z, X and Y. Z, X and Y. Okay, to his three child, to her three child. Sorry for the grammatical mistakes here. So sorry. So students, she transfers the property to her three child. That is Z, X, Y. Z, X, Y. Z is the daughter of Mrs. A. X and Y are son of Mrs. A. Okay. So now what happened? There is a there are three floors on this property. First, the ground floor, first floor, second floor. Okay, there are the three there are the 3 floors on this property, and showing above that floor, there is a roof. There is a roof. As in all houses it happen, it is a roof of the house. Now she transfers ground floor to Z, first floor to X, and second floor to Y. But she says that only her daughter Z is allowed to maintain this roof. She's not she's not transferring the ownership of this roof to anyone. She says that owner of this roof, you all are the owner of this roof. You all can use this roof, but the maintenance of this roof can be done by Z only, their daughter only. Okay, so student, as in this case, this roof is not legally divisible, but hold deemed ownership section 27 states that the person who is maintaining that impassable estate will be deemed to be the owner of this impassable estate. And in this case, if Z gives this roof to anyone on rent or on any kind of income she is getting from there, she's uh, she gives this roof to anyone on rent and she's getting an income from it or any other kind of income. So in that case, Z shall be deemed to be the owner of this property. Okay. So the holder of an impassable estate shall be deemed to be the individual owner of all properties comprised in the state. Holder of an impassable estate means who is in the whole of that impassable estate, that she's maintaining that impassable estate. Okay. Now, friend, after enactment of the Hindu Succession Act 1956, they said that Hindu Succession Act 1956 said that if there is a property which is not legally divisible, we will we will assume it as a property of Hindu undivided family, HUF. This is said by our Hindu Succession Act 1956. But our Income Tax Act states that if there is an agreement, as in this case, Mrs. A makes an agreement, makes a will that this roof will be maintained by their daughter Z. So in that case, that holder of an impassable estate only shall be deemed to be the owner in that case. Okay, students, this question will have very high chances that it will come in your examination in 4 marks question. That is question number 7. 4 marks question. You will get the one part as much. It means you will get this question in your 4 marks question. Okay. Next is member of a cooperative society, etc. So students, a member of a cooperative society or a company or other association of persons to whom a building or part thereof is allotted or leased under any scheme, that is of a house building scheme of a society or a company or association, shall be deemed to the owner of that building, and that income will be taxable in the hands of them only. So what happens is, if there is a cooperative society or a company or other association of persons where they said that we will allot for example, this is a cooperative society and they have a scheme of house building scheme, in which in that scheme they stated that we will allot house to our members, that they can reside in that we are allotting them, they can use it by any purpose. Now student, ownership is in the name, ownership of this house in the cooperative society is in the name of only on the name of cooperative society, but as they are allotting this property to to that person who is the member of cooperative society, so as per section 27 he shall be deemed to be the income he shall be deemed to be the owner of that house property. Okay. Person in possession of a property, it means a person who is allowed to take or retain the possession of any building or part thereof in part performance of a contract of the nature referred to in section 53A of the transfer of property Act shall be deemed owner of that house property. It means to rent. It means if in any case seller of a property has not transferred the ownership of that property to the buyer of that property. It means they have only a part performance of a contract, they have only done a part performance of a contract. For example, seller has given the possession of the house to the buyer, but till now they have not transferred, they have not registered that ownership, under the transfer of property act, or they have the seller has give the possession of house to the buyer, but the buyer has not given till yet the payment to the seller. It means only a part performance of a contract has been made. Students, even in this case, as the buyer would be deemed to be the owner of that house property as the part performance has been performed already. Okay. For example, this would include cases where the possession of property has been handed over to the buyer, or sale consideration has been paid or promised to be paid to the seller by the buyer. Sale deed has not been executed in favor of the buyer, although certain other documents like power of attorney of that house or agreement to sell has been made. Okay. Now, student, the next very important point for your practical life also. Person having died in a property for a period not less than 12 years. It means, students, it means if any person has acquired right in a property for not less than 12 years, it means for 12 years or more than 12 years he is getting right, he is acquiring right in that house property. Although although he is not the owner of that house property, or she is not the owner of that house property, even in that case the person who has having right in that house property for 12 years or more than 12 years shall be deemed to be the owner of that house property. It means, students, a person who acquires any rights in or with respect to any building or part thereof by virtue of any transaction, you are not required to learn this section, transfer by way of lease for not less than 12 years shall be deemed to be the owner of that building or part thereof. Students, that's why you might be reading newspaper, you might be here in news channel, or you might be reading newspaper also. Sometimes what happens is these fraud cases are very often now. You must be careful about it, that if a person, this news came very frequent in newspaper, as day-to-day cases are happening about this, that Mr. A has given his house property on a lease period to Mr. B for 15 years. He has taken the lease rental for 15 years. There is an agreement of 15 years that neither B can uh, neither B can leave that house, and or nor A can remove me from that house. So, students, in that case, as Mr. B, as it is more than 12 years, 12 years or more than 12 years, Mr. B, in the eyes of, in the law of Income Tax Act, will be deemed to be the owner of that house property, and on the basis of that they file a dispute, they file a case in the court also. This is a very frequent case, so might be careful. What you should do now, instead of making a lease agreement of complete 15 years, a person should make a rent agreement for a month, or for not period not a or for a period not of exceeding 1 year, or for a period not for either you can make a monthly month to month agreement, that every month you can make new agreement and you can receive the rent payment, or you can make the rent agreement for a longer period, but should not make that rent agreement for a period not exceeding 1 year, not exceeding 1 year. Okay, so you should not make any agreement for more than 1 year, for more than 1 year. Okay, there's an exception of this point. In case the person acquiring rights by way of lease from month to month or for a period not exceeding 1 year, so in that case such person will not be deemed to be the owner. Okay, friends, as per this question there is that if a person has acquired right for not less than 12 years, he will deem to be the owner. But for practical life must consider in your mind that if in any case you are going to make a lease agreement, so make it as a month to month, or for a maximum period of 1 year. Do not make it for a maximum period of 1 year, because in that case that person will be deemed owner if he having acquiring the right for more than 12 years. Okay, and it is suggestible that do not make it for even exceeding 1 year. Okay, with this section number 27 you have completed your chapter. So congrats, students, congrats. Okay, now we are going to do some additional questions which I have mentioned. The first question is, student, this is on the page number 30. Mr. Raman is a co-owner of a house property along with his brother, holding equal share in the property. Equal share means that they have 50 to 50. 50-50 share in that property. Municipal value of the property 1,60,000. Fair rent is 150. So F or M, whichever is higher, 160. Standard rent 170. Whichever is lower, restricted to standard rent 1,60,000. So expected rent is 1,60,000. Rent received is 15,000 per month. That is 15,000 into 12, 1,80,000. So what shall be the GAV here? Obviously, income tax is going to tax the higher income, actual rate. So 1,80,000. Loan for the construction of this property is jointly taken and interest charged by the bank is 25,000, out of which 21,000 has been paid. Okay, 4,000 has not been paid, it is payable. Interest on the unpaid interest is 450 rupees. To repay this loan, Raman and his brother have taken a fresh loan and interest charge on this loan is 5,000 rupees. What they have said that there was the interest of 25,000 on original loan. 21,000 interest they have been paid, 4,000 is payable, but we have already discussed that here it is not a point of consideration, it is not a point to consider that whether it is actually paid or not. Interest, if the interest has been accrued, it will be allowed as reduction. So complete 25,000 shall be allowed as deduction, as there shall be no limit, because this is a case of let out also. Okay, interest on the unpaid interest is 450. We have already discussed. Interest on unpaid interest is not allowed as deduction. So mention it in your answer sheet also. Okay. Just do not assume it in your mind that okay, interest on unpaid loan 450 and skip this point. Do not do this. In this case, if you skip this point without writing a note, examiner will think that this student will not know this answer and skip this point. So skip your marks. So do not make this mistake. Now, student, to repay this loan, that is to repay the original loan, they have taken a fresh loan. Interest charge on this loan is 5,000. To repay original loan, principal amount, interest charge allowed as reduction. So 5,000 also allowed as reduction. Total 30,000. Municipal taxes 51,000 have been paid by the tenant. As it has been paid by the tenant, so it will not be allowed as a deduction for owner because he have not paid it. So now you'll be able to do this question, no issue. As students, just compute income from house property. After computing income from house property in a simple way, divide it into the ratio of 50%, 50%. So income tax in the hands of 50%, Raman, that is 48,000 from the total income of 96,000. Next is students, question number 2. Mr. X owns one residential house in Mumbai. The house is having two identical units. Identical units means units are same. It means there is a ratio of 50-50, 1 by 2, 1 by 2 of the house. First unit of the house is self-occupied by Mr. X. So, compute it as self-occupied house. Another is rented for 8,000 per month. So, compute it as 8,000. Complete part is given standard rent, municipal valuation, fair rent. So, divided by 1 by 2, you will get the let out. You will get it for let out purpose. As for self-occupied purpose, annual value shall be nil. Now, you will be able to do this question. So in this question, it is right that light and water charges 500 per month, interest on borrowed capital, okay, lease money, insurance charges, light and water charges, lease money, insurance charges, repairs, not loan taken for repairs, it is for repair expenditure. So no deduction will be allowed for these, as flat deduction of standard deduction of NAV has already been allowed as section under section 24A. Okay. So write it in the notes also that it will not allow as deduction. Illustration number 3. Mr. Vikas owns a house property. Municipal valuation is given. All the FMSD parts are given. During the financial year, 1/3 of the portion of the house was let out and the remaining 2/3 was self-occupied by him. You will be able to do this question. Okay, so it is your self-assessment question. Next is students, question number 4. Mrs. Rohini Ravi, a citizen of the USA, resident and ordinarily resident in India. It means she's a ROR, resident and ordinarily resident in India. Remind chapter number 2, resident and ordinarily resident in India. Students who have not completed their chapter 2 yet, do not worry. Just remind one thing, that person who is a resident and ordinarily resident in India, who their all incomes will be taxable in their hand, whether their income will be arise from UK, US or any country. Okay, all income will be taxable under India. She owns a house property as Los Angeles, USA, which is used as a residence. Annual value of the house is $20,000. This sign is of dollar. This is the currency of the US. Okay, the value of $1 may be taken as rupees 65. She took ownership and possession of a flat in Chennai on 1st July 2019, which is used for self-occupation by she is in India. Flat was used by her for 7 months only during the year ended 31st March 2020. Municipal valuation is given 32,000 per month. So 32,000 multiplied by, you will get municipal valuation. Fair rent is 4,20,000 per annum, student. As the fair rent is given as 4,20,000 per annum, 4,20,000 per annum. So wait, student, there is a problem in screen. Just give me 2 minutes. Just fix this problem. There is a problem while scrolling the screen. Yeah, fix it now. Do this a step. Just give me a second, students. Yes, it has been corrected now. Yes, friend, we are resuming our class. Okay. Municipal valuation 32,000 per month. Fair rent is given. She paid the following to Corporation of Chennai: property tax, that is municipal tax. Property tax, municipal tax. Sewerage tax 1,800. She had taken a loan from Standard Chartered Bank in June 2017 for purchasing his flat. Interest on loan was under period prior to 1st April 2019. It means prior period interest, prior pre-construction period interest. 1st April 2019 to this, so it will be allowed as pre-construction period interest and total will be allowed as. She had a house property in Bangalore which was sold in March. In respect of this house, she received area of rent of 60,000 in March to 2020. Ownership will not be a matter of consideration as she is receiving area of rent, so it will be taxable in the previous year 2019-20 itself. This amount has not been charged to tax earlier, so it will be taxable in this previous year. Okay. Now, students, I have also mentioned it here. Since the Ceci is a resident and ordinarily resident in India, her global income would form part of total income. She possesses self-occupied houses Los Angeles as well as at Chennai. So for the she can take a maximum benefit of self-occupied house properties on 2 house properties. So the annual value shall be nil here. As regard the Bangalore house, areas of rent will be chargeable to tax as income from house property in the year as per section 25A, and he will get deduction of 30% also. As friends, as even in this question, as a Chennai house is using by her only, so no need to in fact calculate this 32,000 into that manta, because the annual value shall be, you can directly write it as annual value shall be nil in the case of self-occupied house property. So accordingly, we can compute annual value of the Los Angeles house, annual value nil, no deduction will be given, chargeable income from this house property shall be nil. For deemed let house property at Chennai, annual value shall be nil, less deductions under section 24. Friend, this is a printing mistake here. This is a printing mistake here. Okay, directly rated as self-occupied property. So interest on borrowed capital shall be interest for the current year. That is 1,82,100 at 1/5 of pre-construction period. Pre-construction period total interest was 49,200, and five annual equal installments will be allowed. So it means divided by 5. That is 9,840 rupees. So interest deduction allowable was 1,91,940. So students, interest on borrowed capital 1,91,940. It is for CA purpose. So maximum amount he can take as deduction is 2 lakh. So he can take this deduction also. Areas in respect of Bangalore property. Areas of rent received 60,000. Less deduction will be allowed 18,000. So loss under the head income from house property shall be 1,49,940 rupees. Friends, I think you would be able to do this question now in a very easy manner. Okay. In case of any query, you can ask. Next question is, there are two brothers, Arun and Bimal are co-owners. This is a question of co-owner. This is also your homework. You will be able to do it. No, you will get no confusion to do this question. Okay, students, with this question, we have completed our chapter also. We have completed additional questions also. In case of any query, you can ask. You can freely contact me. You all know this point. Okay, students. So just complete this chapter and let me know. That you have completed this chapter. We are going to conduct your test. Okay, thank you and have a nice day, and all the very best for your examination. And examinations and your examination attempt is November 2020, which is very near. So just study with your full concentration. And so in case you need guidance in any chapter of income tax as well as GST, whether you have taken classes with me only for income tax or GST, you can take guidance No worry of that. Okay, as you are a part of Ayushi Bansal technician classes now, I expect minimum 75 marks from you all. Okay, thank you and have a nice day.